You can write the script, but only God knows the real storyline. Sometimes the heartbreak wasn't actually punishment. Sometimes the heartbreak was protection, or redirection, or revelation. Hi, my friend, and welcome to the Bounce Back Black Woman podcast. I'm Dell, and with God's help, I've overcome some of the toughest trials in life that I could ever have imagined. Do you find yourself struggling to move beyond a heartbreak or a hardship, asking God, why me? Well, I'm here to help women just like you heal and build the resilience to overcome life's greatest trials. If you long for joy and confidence again, this podcast is for you. So grab your headphones and those hardships. Let's talk. Hey there, my friend, and welcome back to Bounce Back Black Woman. If you are tuning in today, I want you to know something right up front. This episode is divine timing, and that's because I'm talking about a kind of heartbreak and disappointment that we don't always name, but that we always feel. And that's the kind that comes from unmet expectations from others. Not the dramatic heartbreaks, not the loudest ones, but those quiet disappointments that change us on the inside. Sometimes slowly, sometimes all at once, in a big, big way. So today we're pulling back the curtain on the expectations that we carry with us, those ones that nobody ever agreed to, and how they shape the pain that we have been holding. So let's get into it. Recently, I walked into a situation expecting, clarity. A simple, clear conversation. Basic, clear communication. Respect both ways. And a level of emotional maturity that, at least in my mind, felt obvious. And when that didn't happen, the disappointment hit harder than the reality itself. But my friend, here is what God whispered to me in that very moment. Dell, they can't give you what they don't have, and you cannot keep expecting things that they never promised. You see, my friend, I wasn't grieving the actual event, the actual conversation, the actual situation. I was grieving the version of the story that I had written in my own mind, the one that felt safe for me, predictable for me, and fair to me. Have you ever been there, my friend? Have you ever created an entire scenario or future or situation in your mind, but the other person was living in the present, in their mind, the whole time? Yeah, that whole part. So here's the truth that we don't talk about enough when it comes to this. Disappointment and or heartbreak is almost always rooted in an expectation. And those expectations most often fall into one of three categories. The first category, unspoken expectations. Those expectations where you just assumed that they knew, but you never actually said it or expressed it or asked for it. The second category is that of unrealistic expectations. Those times where the other person was never capable of actually giving what you had hoped that they could give, or doing what you had hoped that they would do, or saying what you had hoped that they would say. And the third category is that of unaligned expectations, where your expectations and their expectations were on different playing fields. Some examples of these are where you were building a future that they weren't even thinking about, or where you are writing an emotional contract in your mind and the other person has no idea, and they're definitely not signing that contract. And when they don't follow the script that we privately created in our heads, in our minds, and in our hearts, it becomes heartbreak and disappointment. So here's a faith reflection that anchors me every single time. Proverbs 16:9 says this: "We can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps." And here's how I translate that into my own words. You can write the script, but only God knows the real storyline. Sometimes the heartbreak wasn't actually punishment. Sometimes the heartbreak was protection, or redirection, or revelation. And so, if you've been listening to the podcast, you know that we always ask this question: why does it hurt so much? Well, my friend, this kind of heartbreak can hurt so much and cut so deeply because the expectation that you had is what held your hope. It was the vessel in which you placed all of your hope. It can hurt because the expectation represented a future that you saw for yourself and a friend or a partner or a child. And that expectation was one that you created, not God's expectation. This kind of heartbreak cuts deep because the expectation may have given you meaning or purpose. And your meaning and purpose might be something totally different. And this kind of heartbreak also cuts deep because losing the expectation feels like losing a version of yourself. And then you're lost. And your meaning is disappeared. And your purpose feels like it might have disappeared. So what you need to know from this is that it hurts because you're not just grieving the person or the situation. You are grieving the story that you were planning to live in. Whether that's a marriage or parenting or having your dad walk you down the aisle when you got married. All of these hopes and dreams and expectations are created by you, and they may not always align with God's plan. So here's your takeaway and journal prompt. Your healing starts when you gently begin to separate what actually happened from what you expected would happen. I want you to take these questions to your journal, my friend. Question number 1. What situation did not unfold the way that I expected it would? Question number 2. What expectation was I actually holding? Question number 3. Was that expectation spoken? Was it mutual? Or was it even realistic? Question number 4. What truth did God reveal through that disappointment? And question number 5. What expectation do I need to release or rewrite with intention? My friend, I want you to hear me with your whole heart. You are not broken because the story changed. You are evolving. You are being rerouted. You are being aligned. So if this episode spoke to you in any way, I want you to share it first with a friend or a sister who's been holding disappointment in silence. And don't forget, your bounce back, and maybe hers, will always begin with ruthless intentionality. Well, that's it for today, my friend. I really hope this episode inspired, encouraged, or just plain comforted you. If so, please share it with a friend who might be struggling in her own healing journey. And if you take a moment to leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts, you'll help other women find encouragement through their heartbreak. Remember that God is holding your hand along this journey, and guess what? I'm holding the other. Life is short, so bounce back, Black woman.